Demonstrations against Iran's theocracy have not slowed, and President Trump is weighing military action as anti-government protests escalate in the country. More than 500 people have reportedly been killed, with the majority of them demonstrators, according to activists. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams has more from northern Iraq.
The problem for us covering what's happening inside Iran is that, like most other international journalists, we can't get into Iran at the moment to report from the ground. On top of that, Iran's internet was cut off late on Thursday, apparently an attempt by the authorities to prevent protesters from organising and also stop them posting videos online for the outside world to see. Now, despite that, some videos are still being posted online. It seems that some Iranians are using Starlink for internet access. And those videos really tell a story. They show mass protests. They show Iranians calling for an end to the regime, an end to the Islamic Republic. Some of those videos appear to show Iranian security forces opening fire at protests, and some appear to show a large number of body bags. That is apparently protesters that have been killed. One of the human rights monitoring groups that's observing the crisis in Iran says that around 500 protesters have been killed so far. Now, we cannot independently verify that number, but it's crucial because President Trump has repeatedly threatened to hit Iran hard if protesters are killed. Though, of course, we don't know exactly where his red line is, and we also don't know what impact any U.S. intervention would have. A U.S. official told CBS News that President Trump has been briefed on options for military strikes in Iran. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump will be briefed on Tuesday by senior officials about possible steps, including not just military strikes, but using cyber weapons against Iran and imposing more sanctions against Iran. A senior Iranian official said that if the U.S. takes military action, then Iran will retaliate. And he said that American shipping and the U.S. military would be legitimate targets. Now, that is highly relevant where we are in Iraq, just across the border from Iran. Here in Iraq, there are U.S. bases, as well as around 2,000 American troops. Holly Williams, CBS News, Erbil, Iraq.
President Trump says he will discuss restoring internet in Iran with billionaire Elon Musk. Authorities in the country have blacked out access for the past 5 days. For more on this, I want to bring in former chief of operations for the CIA Counterterrorism Mission Center, Andrew Boyd. Thank you for being here. I'm talking about another crucial geopolitical event going on in our country just in the new year. You're on board of a company that is an internet intelligence platform. What can you tell us about the details involved in this blackout by the Iranian government?
Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, the leading internet intelligence platform company you're referring to is called Census, and what they're tracking normally, there's about 15 million internet domains online in Iran, and at any given moment, about 500,000 being used actively. Right now, there's only between 1,500 and 4,000 active domains being used, mostly associated with the Iranian government. So although it's not a 100% blackout for all practical purposes, it is a blackout, except for a handful of users in the protester community who are able to use Starlink. So I think it is an outstanding move that Starlink is being deployed to Iran so that information can get out. Because not only can CBS correspondents not get into Iran, information is not really getting out except in a trickle.
And last night on Air Force One, President Trump had this to say about where things stand.
Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called, they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. A meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
We may have to act before the meeting. What will the U.S. take into account when deciding whether to act? And if the U.S. does act, what does that look like and what impact could it have?
I mean, in the region, it really depends on how the Iranians react to any military action from the United States, because it could result, if they attack U.S. forces in the region or they attack Israel, it could result in a repeat of the 12-day war in 2025. If strikes are limited to the units of the Iranian government that are attacking the protesters, perhaps they'd have the Iranian government would have a more muted reaction. But at the end of the day, the Supreme Leader's office is responsible for the crackdowns and the murder of the protesters, and that's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. And so all responsibilities lead back to him. And if military attacks happen against the Supreme Leader's office, all bets are off. But at the end of the day, without eliminating that clerical leadership element, I think the Iranian government will continue to gun down protesters as long as there's protests ongoing.
All right, Andrew Boyd, thank you.